So we've had such a beautiful conversation of how you blend, like, well, not necessarily blend, but how you are just who you are. But I don't think our audience actually knows what you actually do. Like, I think because we have a lot of influence and content creators to actually follow us. So if you could just give us just a snippet of your journey, where you were to like where you are now, with your business, content.
What time is it?
Hey, thank God for another day. Hey, I know we could be another way. Hey, pray. Thank God for another day. Hey, I know we could be another way. Yeah.
Y'all, I gotta say this. Omar is over here dropping game. We just shot an entire conversation that you get to see, right? And I'll make sure in the description you know how to see it. But he is dropping so many gems. If you don't know who Omar is, he is a phenomenal content strategist, content coach. He just knows his stuff. And I've said this before. I'm a fan because of his faith and trust in God. But we're about to get into this content to cash strategy. I know you offer this. What is it? Once a month for 5 days? Is it
Kind of like once a quarter.
once a quarter? Oh, okay. So it's once a quarter. Can you tell us about the content to cash challenge?
Yeah, I like to call it like a 5-day coaching experience, and it's really a environment where you can experience breakthrough from taking action that you might know you should be taking, and it creates an environment where other people are taking action with you, and it's just a beautiful thing, and you'll learn how to, find your voice, know who you're trying to reach, and then how that actually makes money in the 5 days. And honestly, I don't know if there's any experience like it. I don't sell courses. I don't sell pre-recorded courses. It's a live experience happening virtually on Zoom. And so, yeah, that's the Content to Cash Challenge.
What's been your biggest win from the content to cash challenge?
I think it's being able to coach people at scale. So as someone who loves coaching and has a heart to coach as many people as I can, but I also understand the reality of my limitations of how I can't do that. The Content to Cash Challenge provides a space. And I would say in the last year and a half, I've coached over 1,000 people through this 5-day experience. And so that's probably been the best thing about it. And just, it's like, as a strategy wise for my business, it's built trust at super scale.
Yeah.
Like, I know my content does help and it builds relationship, but it's one way. But because the challenge is back and forth and there's Q&A and there's community, it's like a trust accelerator. And in the game of business, everything falls down from trust. So you don't have to sell hard. When people trust you,
Right.
they already know who you are.
Right. So you've used the word several times, the word scale. That's what I've been hearing. How does someone know what's scalable? Because I know it's like we just do stuff, we just throw things out there. How do we know if this thing is scalable, and if it's not, how do we pivot?
I think from what I'm based on that question, I truly believe everything or anything could scale. Sometimes things don't scale because you're not being intentional with it. And so if you're being consistent, but not intentionally consistent, and maybe you want to scale your YouTube channel or scale your business, well, there's something in the way of you not experiencing that thing. But if you're just dabbling, it's kind of hard to see what that thing is.
Yeah.
But when you're showing up consistently and you're testing and you're improving, you'll start to see like, oh, this is where we went wrong. Oh, nobody showed up to the web class because we only had them sign up, but we didn't remind them. Okay, next time we're going to remind them. Why didn't anybody buy? Oh, no one bought because I was yapping for an hour and they left the call. Like you start getting insight as to why things aren't working. And literally at every level, business is a game of problem solving.
Yeah.
And we're always just trying to solve problems, right? It never ends. So I mean, yeah, my thing is, I don't know if pivoting is ever the answer. And I know pivot has multiple meanings.
Yeah.
People change things too soon before even getting awareness of what's not working.
So I'm so glad that you're giving from. It's almost like you also encouraging people to trust what they've decided on, because it's like sometimes we're indecisive because we're watching other content creators do certain things. Like, what's the biggest mishap or misconception of the content creator?
Well, the word is you have a misconception of who you're trying to copy. Like, you see somebody else doing something, but you don't know why they do it that way. You don't know how that's serving their deeper need, or you don't know how that thing that they're doing, or why that thing what they're doing is serving the thing they decided on. So I'm a firm believer that whatever you decide on and you work it will work. It will. And does it mean that you won't tweak it along the way? Of course you will.
Yeah.
But because you've decided, that's why. I think what's funny is, like, when you see somebody else, which, by the way, it's okay to gain inspiration. I think it's just before you implement what inspires you, you should unpack why and how this works for your context, right? So, and that's why I love teaching principle-based stuff as opposed to, like, just do this. I know sometimes people need the just do this, but for the most part, no, you just need to know the principles of how to be successful. But I really started winning when I chose the one platform to focus on.
Yeah. When
I chose the one link to put in the description, and then when I had the one offer to give. And that's literally all I did.
Man, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because I think sometimes that people always tell us, put it everywhere. Your audience is different places. And I want to let's get into your one platform, which is YouTube, right? You mainly focus on YouTube. So if I'm trying to cultivate my YouTube audience as a beginner, a beginner in long form content, what are the three things, the 3 steps that you are just like head on about to make sure that me as a beginner can be successful as a YouTuber?
Yeah. If you're a beginner at YouTube, I would say upload your first 10 to 20 videos unedited. So if editing is an obstacle, and it is for everybody, especially if you're a beginner, don't edit. And let me tell you why. Because it's going to make you really good. When you film a video knowing it's going to be edited, your delivery is not natural. Because you know it's going to be edited. So you're like, when you mess up, you'll stop and you'll start over. If you know it's not going to be edited, like a live presentation, you can't start over in a live presentation. You have to keep it rolling.
Right.
If I sneeze on stage, someone's going to say, bless you, and then I'm going to keep it rolling.
Yeah.
I think that is like a big unlock, because everybody's waiting to have the perfect upload or like the polished edit, when all that doesn't matter. Like, the beginning stages of a YouTube journey is more about your personal development as a communicator, as somebody who delivers a concept or shares some insight, and how you choose to do that, and discovering your voice, and discovering your preferred content format. Like, sometimes not everyone should have a podcast. Some people should do vlog style.
Yeah.
Not everyone should do vlog style. Some people should do live streaming. Not everyone should do live streaming. Some people should do talking head. So I think that is just like, make your first couple dozen videos unedited, and then look at the data. So, like, if you've uploaded 10 videos, you should get a sense of like what is kind of working. I think so number one is just upload unedited videos. Number two is just to look at the data. You look at your data, but also look on YouTube's data. I actually think you're making it harder to grow on YouTube if you yourself are not a consumer of YouTube.
Right.
Like, so the more you understand the platform, the easier it is to be on it as a contributor.
That's so good.
The issue is people just want a big YouTube channel, but they don't even know they don't even click on videos.
Right.
So, like, I go home, I watch YouTube TV. I don't do Hulu, I don't do Netflix, and it's not because of I'm special. It's because I genuinely like YouTube.
Yeah.
And then it serves me because as I click on a video, I get to internalize, why did I click on that video? And I'm creating cases and I'm creating insight on why I clicked videos.
Yeah.
And that over time, like my history on YouTube is its own masterclass on YouTube. If I just go to my history and I look, well, it's going to give me insight on packaging. So upload unedited videos, be a consumer of the platform.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is to commit long term. Everyone winning on YouTube, no one's winning on YouTube trying to launch their YouTube channel.
Right.
People who are winning on YouTube don't have an end in mind. So it's actually the reverse. People I know that are older, who started a YouTube channel because they see the power of it, they don't have an outcome goal.
Mm.
It's a time goal. For the next 10 years, I'm going to be consistent on this platform. Boom. So even my strategy is I'm going to upload a podcast a week until Jesus comes back.
Yeah.
Like that's literally my YouTube strategy. So from that standpoint, those are the three things I would have you focus on.
I love that. I want to kind of go back to the data part because I seen you post something the other day regarding like, and I think it was somebody for people not doing like masterminds or these webinars because hundreds of people are not coming. You only have 5 or whatever, but you spoke towards the data. I think data, because number wise, is kind of intimidating for people because everybody doesn't understand numbers. So how would you simplify YouTube's data specifically and what we should look for?
Oh, what you should be looking for on YouTube? I think you should be looking for, when you go in the back end of YouTube Studio, you could see the click-through rate and the average view duration. If you upload a 30-minute video on YouTube and you get 40 views, that's great. Because right now there's not even 40 people here.
Right.
So if there was, it would be a whole nother dynamic. But if I got 40 views on a YouTube video, YouTube is going to give me the click-through rate, which means out of everyone who sees this video, the percentage of people that click on it. If that percentage is 1% or 2%, that just means no one's clicking on your videos. So how do you get people to click on your videos? The title and the thumbnail. This is why I think the skill of packaging is the most underrated skill of creators. Yeah. Because they're focusing on making really good videos when YouTube isn't a video platform. It's a packaging platform. So when we're putting all our energy and effort into the video, we actually should be putting most of our energy into the title, the thumbnail, and the first 30 seconds. So that's click-through rate. And then average view duration. So you're telling me, YouTube, that 40 people clicked on this video and people are only watching a minute on average. Okay, that means that whatever you're doing in the beginning of your video is not giving people a reason to stay and watch more of it. Now, your average view duration will always be shorter than the video itself. Right. Majority of people that watch your YouTube videos aren't watching all of the video. Right. That's fine. That's why I love uploading very long videos. Yeah. Because if I upload very long videos, that number is more like 15, 25 minutes. If I upload a 25-minute video, that number is more like 3 to 7 minutes. Mm-hmm. So it's just, ratio. So those are the two things, click-through rate and average view duration. Those are things that should tell you. So if you have good ones, like if they're green, that's telling you that like the topic is pretty good, the way you package it's pretty good, and then also the way you started it is pretty good. That's so good. I love that we're on this YouTube thing because so I was talking to Dave in the morning meetup one day, and I was like, I don't know. I said, I don't know if I should do shorts anymore. I was leaning on Omar because he said he didn't do shorts because he wants people's duration, like
to train people that he does long form content. So I was going with what you said, and I was like, I don't think this is working. I don't know. So I started trying the shorts, and it seems like I'm having better conversion. So how do you know, like, with your tactic, like, why is it working for you? Like, I just want to know, like, because it wasn't working for me just not doing shorts. But I feel like I agree with what you said. Like, shorts almost hurt a little bit because I don't want people to think that they're going to get anything short form from me because I'm long-winded.
No, yeah. I think the reason it works for me is because I'm obsessed with the viewer experience. And I don't think people are willing to be as obsessed as I am.
What does that look like?
That looks like if you clicked on this video or podcast, that you're gonna get what you clicked for. Like, that's what I mean. Now, everyone thinks they're giving what they click for.
Right.
But to the first podcast, I'm gonna let you in on exactly what my brain was doing when you started the last podcast. Like, if I clicked on this video based on how you title it, what would you think you'd probably title
the last
episode 2 of this?
Something in dealing with faith or grace.
Great.
You know.
So let's just say that episode could be called something like advice for Christian CEOs or advice for believers in business, something like that. And you started your podcast and you guys had your little show thing. And like, it took a few minutes to start getting into that conversation.
Right.
And so that what was happening in my brain was people already had clicked off. And that's me. I mean, the reason why it works for me is because I have an intuition to know that. And it's also just thinking about the viewer. Like, I'm obsessed with the viewer's experience. If you clicked on this video because it was advice for CEO entrepreneurs that are believers, and like, if that's the packaging and that's who it's for, then we need to go right into it. So it would be, hey, are you in business and a believer? And that's why I like to start YouTube videos with enrolling questions, because then it affirms the right person.
Right.
Are you a believer who's in business and you're wondering if you're doing it God's way? Well, I'm so excited because I have somebody I know that does it really well. But why do believers get it wrong in business? Like let's immediately.
Yeah.
And I think we did it. I mean, you did it better this one. This one's awesome. But that's why. So I actually think back to your shorts, situation is most of the time for most people, you're doing long form so you can get short form. And that's why short form is working. But the system is fine though. The system is fine to that. Do a long form with minimal strategy and just make sure your short form is super potent.
Yeah.
Right? Like, those clips make sense. Those clips aren't random. However, I as a business-minded person, my goal is time spent on brand.
Yeah.
I want people to know this face. I want people to know my voice. I want people to feel like they know me.
Right.
And that's hard. It's not that it's impossible. It's just harder to do with short form content.
So this is a question based upon your feedback, and I appreciate that. Didn't offend me at all because I know
everyone does that. Like, even sometimes when I have a guest, they project it because I'll be like, hey, so why? How did you do this? Or what got you into this? Yeah. And they'll be like, let me let you in on a little bit about my backstory. I'm like, no, that's not what I asked. Yeah. I asked you, give me some insight real quick, because I strategically, as the interviewer, I want this to go to go out there. Right. And so literally I'll have to edit it. I'm going to edit it out because I care about it that much. People don't click on the videos because of my story. People click on the videos because of their problems. But go ahead. No, that's good. So my question is, how do I find the rhythm? I mean, you can balance in this case. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, so balance out being the energetic me and having that, because they love the Desiree song. They love the community highlight. How do I construct that, still finding my balance, but also being like, okay, let me get straight to the point? Is you move that moment either in the middle or at the end. Okay. That's how I would do it. Okay. Because I would even argue that although the people that love you love that, it's almost like this, I'm grateful that you're a part of the department family, but we're always out to get more people in the department family. So
I don't need to think about the people that are in. I need to think about people that are not.
And they're not
Okay.
there for the Desiree song.
They're
They're there because of who you are. They're there because they love you and they love what you guys are doing together. So like, I also want to let you know, like, they're not there because of the song.
Yeah.
They're not going to be like, where's the song at? And even if they were, that's a very small group of people because you're going to be growing the podcast. So I was on a podcast a little bit ago, and these guys, they like starting their podcast opening up a can, like a soda can, but like a drink. And their thing is like opening it one-handed, and then that you don't dent the can.
Yeah.
So it's like click, clack, and then you like show like, hey, is there any dents? And then they'll like rate it. That's literally how they started their podcast, which is fine. But what's funny is I saw, because I followed them after the fact, and the podcast did really well that we did together. However, he was like, hey guys, we're moving that portion of the podcast toward the middle of the podcast because we don't want people coming for a certain reason and then they just see a bunch of guys open up a LaCroix and then drink So he, that clicked for them. I don't know, 80 episodes in, they realized like, oh, we don't need to do that segment at the beginning. Let's just move it. And it could be a good like icebreaker too, or a re-engagement thing. Hey, this is the portion of the show, and if it would actually re-engage people to put it later. And then something I've been doing recently, just testing, is at the end of my podcasts, I'll say, hey, if you're still watching, if you're still listening, I appreciate you. Can you DM me on Instagram and just say I watched the whole thing or I listened to the whole thing? I just want to, and then people are doing it. It's so cool. So
I like that. We're gonna, Desiree, you won't get your song in the beginning. This is really good and strategic, and I think that also. All right, so this was something I wanted to ask you on our part too, but so with me being faith-based, and very vocal about being faith-based, and she mentioned that I use Holy Spirit like for my questions and stuff like that. In the beginning, your advice about, okay, starting with the questions, sometimes I'm not, the conversation goes somewhere else, but how would you still, knowing Holy Spirit, balance that with strategic conversation?
Yeah, no, that's great. One is like, I don't think the Holy Spirit's ever random. So like, I don't want that to be let that be a permission to be random, and confuse someone. Like, man, I thought I was here for this. Like, so my thing is, you as the host, you have to hold the line. So like, and like, you mentioned that, like, something about grace, like, like that, maybe the second episode, something about grace. In my mind, I think grace is the answer to being a potential, to being an entrepreneur who's a CEO, that's a believer. And so I wouldn't make it about grace, because grace could be misleading. Grace, no one knows grace. Like, most people don't. We're churches. We talk differently.
Yeah.
But I still hold the line, and then I get loose at the end.
Okay.
So
hold the line at the beginning. So more structure, more. Yes. Let's get to it. Let's go. At least have my first one or two questions. Like, I like that, and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna try it, and then I'm gonna tell you how it is.
Well, because I like to think of my conversations like a course. So based on the overarching thing, that when you click on this conversation, it's as if you were watching a course, because I'm trying to get the who, what, where, when, whys out of the way. And so, somebody I interviewed yesterday was Lee Jenkins, who has a following on Instagram and TikTok and stuff called the Stewardship Coach.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, people are going to want to interview him for financial literacy.
Yeah.
But for me, I saw a 60-year-old blow up on Instagram in 18 months. And I wanted to interview him on that. So my my packaging was content advice for people over 40. And now I'm sticking with that. Hey, how are you creating? Are you, the tech?
That's good.
Okay, how are you coming up with the content? Like, you're posting one a week on Instagram. Everybody says post every week or every day, multiple times a day. And like, he's answering and breaking all those things. And yes, there's looseness because it is a conversation.
Yeah.
His answers are his answers, but I'm keeping it tight. Then it got to a point in the conversation, I was like, all right, what do I do with my money? Because at that point, we would have won. I mean, people, if you're still here, you're obviously bought in.
Right.
So now we can go loose.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a principle in every area. Be very strict to your format and to delivering the value. And then when your audience gets to a certain point, you could intuitively loosen up a little bit. And I've gotten there.
Okay.
But not completely. I've gotten there from a standpoint of like, I don't put too much pressure on the way we start a YouTube video as much as I used to, because there's a base foundation of people that click on the video because they know we dropped it,
Yeah.
But that's everyone's different. But that's why it's so important to not copy. Because if you copy me at 150,000 subscribers,
right,
you're neglecting the fact that I did certain things to get here. Does that make sense?
No, that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
I'm right now in my mind, like how your mind was going, my mind is like, I've gotten one comment before, just to be transparent. One comment, I can't remember the exact comment it was, but it did talk about like my long-windedness. And I think that I'm so focused on creating a vibe in my mind that I'm missing the opportunity for you to stay for the because our conversation got good. Like it got really good. But if that was cut out, people would get directly to the fruit and the richness of the conversation versus the fun. And maybe I should put the fun somewhere else. That's what I'm hearing you say.
I mean, I guess so. But like something you said was in your mind.
Yeah.
I mean, that's most of the creators are in our minds, and we think. So when people come up to me at the podcast summit, they're like, yo, I'm working on a podcast, or I have a podcast. How many episodes you have? 4. Oh, you've had a podcast in your mind for 6 months, but you only have 4 episodes. You don't have a podcast. You don't have a podcast. So I think it's just very important to get out of our mind and get into the mind of the viewer.
Yeah.
Now, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because not all comments do we need to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But if a comment critically challenges you to be better, I mean, that person might have a point.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm open, I'm humble.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm looking, and some people are like, some people say, hey, you don't let the guest talk, or there's been times where people would say, hey, or even feedback like, hey, I like it when it's just you and Art more than when you have guests.
Yeah.
Like that's just good. That's good feedback.
Yeah.
And maybe we should upload more podcasts, just us, as opposed to doing guest conversation.
Yeah.
And I love the tension of both. But all that to say, I think listening to those comments, and you get it where it's coming from. I'm sure they did it in a way that was tactful. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it was. I think that was like, well, that was the only comment I seen. But now that you say it, it holds more weight. But I want to get to because I know we gotta go. But speaking of podcasts, and since we're at the podcast summit, what's the biggest miss in monetization on YouTube? Like, what is our biggest miss as creators with monetizing on YouTube?
Yeah, the biggest misconception about monetizing on YouTube is thinking that someone else has to pay you, like a brand or Google AdSense or the YouTube store or whatever, when you pay you. And when I say that, I mean sponsor your own videos with your business. If you're doing creative stuff, it might be harder. If you're doing entertainment stuff, it might be harder. But this is why, if you're very strategic at helping and solving a specific problem, then just invite people and let them know this episode is brought to you by the Content to Cash Challenge. If you want a 5-day live coaching experience with me because you want to take your content and make money with it, or you're in your business and building your personal brand is the next step, I would encourage you to take the next challenge. If we don't have a date, get on the wait list. but art anyway. So I mean, I'm just sponsoring now. You know, I will monetize that podcast episode myself with my business. And I actually tried a brand deal this last year, and I actually cut it short and rewired them back the money
Oh, wow.
because it wasn't worth it. So
What made it not worth it?
what made it not worth it was just creative, not giving me creative freedom, especially with the fact that the reason you're paying me is because you like how I do it. So don't pay me and tell me how to do it.
Right.
But it's fine. And so I was just like, it's not working. Here's the money back. And still love the products.
Yeah.
And
so
that's
what
why
would you do differently next time if somebody was to approach you about a deal? What would be the thing that makes you like, okay, I'll do that?
It would be building a relationship first, like back and forth, getting a vibe. So I was working with a company that is from China. So there was already a time thing.
Yeah.
And then you're on WhatsApp, and like, it was, I think on a relational standpoint, you should know and get to know the person that is representing that company, and that there's a good dialogue and like wanting to do something great together. The reason why they wanted to control the way we work together, or the deal, and how I produced what I produced for them, is because they, in their mind, had a way. In their mind, they had a way of how they perceived me.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah. So I don't know. I think I just was a little bit at the time, like, I wanted to prove a point that I could like monetize my YouTube channel with my business and then also get a brand deal. And I can get a brand deal, but because of how smart the YouTube channel is for my business, I don't need it, which is cool. So that's why I say sponsor your own videos. That's the fastest way to monetize your business. And you could sponsor your own video with a discovery call. You can get 100 views on a video and have a 3K offer, and one person could buy that 3K offer off 100 views, and that YouTube video is responsible for $3,000. To get $3,000 on views is, you need a lot of views to make $3,000 from Google. So not making that the goal, but also giving so much more than you're asking, like I'm able to make those asks. So I didn't know for the longest time when our next content to cash challenge was.
Yeah.
But our wait list for it grew to 1,500 contacts because they're just sponsoring the video. And like most people would probably be like, man, but it's not happening right now and I want to make money now. It's like, it's okay. I'm always okay to build trust and do no asks.
No, you just hit a bar right there. Like being willing to build trust and to serve where you want to grow and monetize.
Yeah.
That's what I just heard you say.
Yeah. It's actually more deposits from my end than their end. So I mean, the reason why I get mobbed at Podcast Summit is because I've made deposits.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
That's so good. And you've been phenomenal at Podcast Summit. Like I said, I met you my first year at Podcast Summit, didn't know where you were. And I waited in line just to tell you thank you. I didn't have no question. I didn't have anything else to say, but thank you. So I'm going to land the plane with a thank you. And thank you for just being authentically you. Thank you for putting Christ first. Thank you for giving us an opportunity as creators to go beyond what we thought we saw. And so as a tradition on Jess Ask the Podcast, we allow the guests to have their final words. So if you came in with anything on your heart, if you something burning in you or frustration with content creation, I want to give you the floor to say that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. And I want everyone to make sure you watch next week's episode or the part 2, because it's rich. But I would say you don't need anyone's permission to do it. And if you do feel like you do, I'm going to look you into the eye and say, you have my permission to build the thing that is in your heart. Stop waiting for somebody else's permission. You got it.
I love that. Stop waiting on somebody's permission. Omar, thank you so much. This has been a dream come true. It's on my bucket list. Y'all blame Omar when y'all start seeing our content change. I was just playing, but it's going to be great. We are here to grow. We're here to learn together. I love you guys. Desiree, thank you. Art, shout out to you. You're so phenomenal. And listen, guys, until next week, until next time, remember, life could be much more simple if you just ask.
What's up, you guys? We hope you've enjoyed that conversation, but make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification so you don't miss an episode. We'll see you next Thursday.